Altcoin season is about to begin, everybody. The SEC and the U.S. government just capitulated. They are waving the white flag for over 60 cryptocurrencies, saying, hey, we are giving up. We're no longer trying to deem these things securities, and these altcoins are going to be set to explode. Everybody, we're going to talk about that case. We're going to see what is going on with Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the markets in general, and Polymarket has some pretty crazy things going on at the moment. But we also got Josh here in today's stream, powered by Arculus, of course. Thank you for joining. You got DZ in the suit today. You know it's going to be a special episode, so go ahead and smash that like button, everybody. Big shout out to Arculus. They're a great sponsor for the trip, and if you're not using cold storage, you're missing out, everybody. It's the only way to avoid total ruination, not lose your crypto, folks. So just do not do that. All right, let's get right into the market watch here, because markets are really moving, and they're dumping hard here. Bitcoin is down to 4% here. You can see it just, bleeding. Even for the past hour, it is down 0.7%. Solana's down 4.5%. But Ethereum holding relatively strong in the market. Some say it's the strength of the ETFs. Are we going to get a positive day today? Certainly looking like it, everybody. And XRP, I see a lot of people trying to douse XRP's pump with cold water right now. I saw someone post, they're celebrating 62 cents with like a laughing, crying emoji. But then you look at the all-time chart, and you know what? You do want to cry, everybody. Josh, what are your thoughts of XRP green while the rest of the market is red? Some say when it happens to Solana, that's a sign that Solana is going to have a lot of strength this cycle. Now we're seeing it with XRP. Is XRP going to have a lot of strength this cycle?
This is just, I think we're just watching liquidation grabs here, and we're just watching just normal market makers move the price here. I don't think this is special at all that XRP is just hovering around this price. It's good to see it. It's 100%. It's good to see it. But right now, my biggest focus is going to be Bitcoin. And the reality is if Bitcoin can't break the 69,500 level, if we can't break past its 70K and turn that into supports, all these altcoins are going to bleed. And XRP has been no different. It is going to bleed with the rest of these altcoins if we see some serious downside. You can just zoom out on that larger time frame. So it's good to see it, in the daily time frame, the weekly time frame here. But what's really important right now is that we do see some upside action here and see Bitcoin break past that 70K. If we go back down to 61, right, there is that futures gap. If we go back down to that futures gap, guys, these altcoins are going to get hit by 10, 20, 30% downside action. So, just have that in mind. I want to get too excited right now. I think we're in a period of consolidation. I think we're in a period of accumulation. I think, retail is starting to get scared out and shaken out, and they're getting very, very bored and capitulate. That is the time you generally want to start DCAing into these markets. So I'm still watching for that area.
Ask me if I'm feeling bullish or bearish right now.
Are you feeling bearish?
Hell no. And let me tell you why, because we got a lot of room to the downside before I would start feeling bearish. I pulled up TradingView here. I'm going to pull up a parallel channel, and we're going to do this live, everybody. If you go down to the line on the top left side here, you will see parallel channel, and we're going to go ahead and draw one. And this is the parallel channel we've been talking about since the middle of March, everybody. So look at the tops. I told you, what do you know? We returned to the scene of the crime, and then things started turning a little bit bearish with that wick. But look at this parallel channel. We got a lot of room to the downside before I would start feeling, we're out of range. We're totally bearish. I wasn't bearish here. I wasn't bearish here. Well, here I was bearish because this was the start of the parallel channel. But we could go all the way down to $52,000. Let's just say it happens a little bit later. Technically, it could go all the way down to still about 51,800. So we could go much, much lower, $14,000 lower before we're still, feeling bearish, I would say. Once we get out of this range and we close daily candles, that's when I would still feel a little bit scared. I wouldn't worry about a little bit of a wick. I wouldn't worry about, peeking its head out of the hole like Groundhog Day. It could still move up into the here, or up into the right, as I want to say.
Yeah, I would just, $54,000. What are you talking about there? That would be downside action of 50 to 80% on altcoins. So it would hurt. It would hurt a lot. That's how people are feeling right now, is they're feeling hurt. They're feeling, it's not just about boredom at this point, is, when should they start jumping back into these markets? And the most bullish outcome here right now, guys, is I still think we have 6 to 7 months to front run the United States government. I mean, yes, it's going to come down to, of course, the November elections, but we see the strategic reserves being talked about. We have a ton of stories to break down today where Russia's even looking to legalize Bitcoin mining, and of course, the trading of Bitcoin in Russia itself, now one of the largest countries in the world. And whether that sits right with people or not, adoption is coming for Bitcoin. So I'm just sitting simply here and saying, buy Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what it's going to go to in the near term. It's where is it going to be at in the long term? Because even, guys, meme coins and altcoins will get wrecked if we go down to $61,000 or $54,000. However, I do believe there will be another alt season. I do believe there is going to be, if meme coins, doesn't matter what side of the industry you're on, it is going to come back. So just be prepared. Do not get scared and do not run away. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out.
Yeah,
big.
and SEC just waved the white flag on 60 altcoins. So, know, that's very, very bullish. All right, let's look. Is there any gainers besides XRP? Is XRP the biggest gaining coin in the top 100? It is not. It is very, very close, though. You can see it is in the top 5. Maker is up 5.2%. There was a compound issue. Compound is a big competitor of Maker. And so, if all the Coca-Cola factories caught on fire, Pepsi stock would probably bump. And so we're seeing something similar here. Aave, you can kind of throw it in those conversations as well as being a competitor to Compound and Maker here. So we're seeing a lot of people probably fleeing the Compound ecosystem, heading into Aave, heading into Maker. We also have Ohm is up. ENS still pumping. That thing is up now 2.2%. Although it is down slightly for the week, down 4.7%. It is still up for the month. And that reminds me of the alpha that I was given. There's the Solana name service. And if we look here for the 7 days, it is actually outperforming ENS. I think ENS was down about 3-4%. This one's down only 1.8. So actually doing pretty good right there. But the biggest losers is Bitcoin is Stacks. Stacks is down 6.8%. Arweave down 6.9%. And for whatever reason, hasn't refreshed to the upside. Jupiter down 6.3%. Say also down. Then we see a meme coin and Sui. What do I always say about Say and Sui? They just move together. Why? Because their names are similar. Crypto is that dumb, everybody, sometimes. So, yeah, we're seeing Say and Sui down, although Aptos would be a closer correlator here. Notcoin down, Immutable X down. So we're seeing a lot of some pretty decent projects that you can get a little cheaper. Avalanche, Render. Avalanche or Render? You can only buy one. What would you put $100 in first? Render? It's just more upside because of AI?
No, I just think, as smart contract programs out there and platforms out there, Avalanche is already one at a $10 billion market cap. Two, it's not, it's not the greatest blockchain. I'm not trashing on it, but I would be in Solana or another chain ahead of 10 times over than I'd be choosing Avalanche. And again, there is a lot of blockchain development in the Web3 side on Avalanche. I'm not, again, saying it's not the worst area to build. I would just, if I'm looking at the two, Render here is at 2.4 billion, and it is one of the leading AI narratives here. And I still think that we're going to have a strong AI cycle moving into maybe November, December, if not Q1 next year, with all of the sales coming from the new integrations of OpenAI and a lot of these new products, as well as Sora. So there's going to be more demand for, of course, rendering, cloud services, etc. I think Render would capture a lot of that.
All right. Well, Drew has living, waking, and actual nightmares about going to war with robots. Now, Drew, are you excited about the AI revolution when it comes to your crypto bag? Because that's two competing narratives in your mind.
I mean, the price will pump, and I'm going to buy tanks and a bunch of oil and sand.
So you're using the AI pump to increase your weaponry against the AI armies.
Absolutely, and unapologetically.
That seems like a good strategy at the end of the day. It's the John Connor strategy.
Well,
we like the John Connor strategy.
You got to raise them strong.
All right. Yeah, big shout out to all the people. Hit that like button, says Nate707, one of our members there. We do member streams every Friday, so we appreciate it. I heard Josh wants to change the name. Oh, Josh likes politics. Why crypto is politics, everybody. So, yeah, Beezy here, Josh here. Sometimes we talk about crypto politics. I get it. But let's talk about, dang it, it's a government crypto politics story here. SEC delisting altcoins. It's almost
we can't talk about that. We can't talk about it. It's too political.
You know what? Because it has the SEC. Too political.
Oh, my God. Voting for who's going to establish the chairman of the SEC. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, Gary Gensler is a politician. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and skip the story.
Greatest
You're
person
not getting
in
the alpha. You're not going to get the altcoin alpha. Sorry. Drew is legendary. We all know that, Lucas. All right, SEC backing down. They're backing down. They named 3, but there's a lot more than 3 folks here. They're backing down on claiming Solana, Cardano, and Polygon/Matic other tokens are securities in the Binance lawsuit. So they had a SEC sued Binance, and they said, you are selling securities, and they named them. And now they're backing down on the claim that they are securities. There's a bunch of things in the lawsuit. It's like, oh, you're giving access to Americans to these financial services. How dare you? But some of the other stuff was, you're listing securities. You're selling them. Now they have removed that from the docket. This is very bullish for these altcoins. And in fact, in tonight's, I'm going to have to do some research tonight. Maybe I'll try to do some crazy bull market predictions. If we get Bitcoin to hit here, Bitcoin dominance, maybe I'll name 4 or 5 alts here. Tell me which 4 or 5 altcoins should make the cut for this video. Cardano's going to be on there. Solana's going to be on there. Let me know a couple other ones, folks. All right, SEC has retracted its request for a court ruling to classify tokens such as Solana, Cardano, and Polygon and others as securities. And so they are no longer asking a court to decide and deem the tokens named in its lawsuit as securities here. This is breaking news from this morning, and they filed a response to the court's minute order on July 9th, 2024. So according to the SEC, this removes the need to issue a ruling as to the sufficiency of the allegations as to those tokens at this time. This means the government agency, SEC, no longer asks the court to decide whether the affected tokens are securities. In the lawsuit against Binance, they name several tokens. These tokens are poised to pop, everybody, in a long enough time scale. Let me just say this. These are all bullish narratives for these particular tokens. They had this huge weight, this overhang, this dark cloud, raining water, pissing all over your profits. And now it might start just giving you joy. Let's just say that, folks. All right, we have BNB is on the list. Solana is on the list. Cardano's on the list. Polygon, Atom/Cosmos, Sandbox, Mana, Axie Infinity, and Cody, which doesn't get its own little ticker there. Which one of these are you most bullish on to pump the hardest? And I'll lead. To me, the one with the most upside opportunity is going to be Cody. When I looked in these, say in the past, I know Cody has done really, really well lately, but its market cap was a mere percentage of all those other tokens. Now Cody's grown a little bit, but still, Cody is a fraction of these other tokens, so it has the smaller market cap, meaning there could potentially be the most upside there. What coin of those is your favorite and why?
Yeah, I'd have to say not Cody. It's going to have to be Matic.
Were you bullied by Cody in, say, middle school? He said you can't have plain milk?
I would say that, Cody is part of the Cardano ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look, I'm rooting for Cardano. Cardano's already a massive market cap here. I'm really hoping that this weight off Matic's shoulders might allow it to actually finally perform here. But Cody is like you said, percentage of Polygon's Matic's market cap. It's much smaller than almost any other filing that was a part of this list. So to compare it, I think is unfair. But if we were to compare it against all the billion-dollar market cap tokens, I would have to be, I'd have to go on with Matic here and just hope. Again, they have Polygon 2.0. They have some of the most partnerships in the industry. They've underperformed this entire bull run. And they were the largest performer in, of course, 2021's bull run. So I do think there's a little bit of a push that Matic might be able to grab once markets do rebound here.
All right, Drew, any hot take real quick?
Oh, man. Out of all those, let's see here. I'll pull it up here. Pull it up. What are the options? I'm looking at
I was looking at,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm going with Solana, bro. Like
Solana?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
I like it. Kind of want to open a Solana long right now, but I feel like, we could get a little short-term correction here. Well, we have some other ones. Algorand's on there. Dash is on there. I was trying to find some of the bigger ones here. We also have Filecoin. That's actually bullish for Filecoin. I would say good news for Filecoin right there. Let's see. We have Chiliz and Flow. ICP. I see people in the chat talking about ICP. Near. So ICP, this is great news for ICP. This is great news for Near. There's a couple other ones that were kind of big. Let me see.
I'm changing my answer. That's my answer now. ICP.
ICP. Okay,
Yeah.
so ICP could be a big winner here. I like ICP. Now that we see the deeper cuts, is there anything maybe shouting out at you here?
No, still no.
No file.
No.
You're not bullish on the Filecoin.
I'm bullish on
Near.
Arweave. I've been bullish on Arweave for a very, very long time. Near is already a $7 billion market cap. I would say Near is actually probably
not
one of those top
Luna.
ones.
I'm not excited.
No.
I don't think Luna is going to
No.
have some big turnaround here. Or FTT. I don't think FTX token. So there's a couple losers. There's definitely a couple losers here. But yeah, chat. Who do you think is going to be? We have a lot of people. Mana going to be good. ICP. Solana. Just reading some of the chat. Let us know which ones you are excited about. No longer having this classification. There's 68 in total. A lot of them most people haven't heard of, but still really, really good news here. Why? Now it seems like we're getting shifting views from the SEC. Some say this is the Kamala Harris trying to be more favorable to crypto. Now, I know you probably are agreeing with that rumor or strategy. Do you think this is a Kamala Harris top-down saying, hey, let's signal more support for crypto, get them on our side?
No, one, it doesn't happen that quick. Two, she still understands absolutely nothing about crypto. And three, if she wants to actually do something positive for crypto, she would fire Gary Gensler. That is that simple. So until I see that, I'm not going to expect anything. I mean, 2 days after the conference, we had, of course, $2 billion in Bitcoin get moved from the U.S. government. And there's still a lot of skepticism around of course, what her administration wants to do. This is somebody that's never been pro-crypto, someone that's always been anti-crypto and has pushed very, very totalitarian beliefs. So I don't see it coming yet. I need to see a lot of steps taken before the election cycle, and they can start simply by firing Gary Gensler. That is the easiest step in the next couple of months.
All right, hashtag fire Gary.
Yeah, fire Gary.
Let's see. He's the worst Gary since Ash Ketchum's rival. That's how bad a Gary he is. Okay, folks, that's a bad Gary. He's the worst Gary since Gary Payton with his alien head, who used to play for the Seattle Supersonics.
There's nothing. No, this is the first steps we've seen was RFK, of course, very pro crypto, but obviously is more likely to be a cabinet member of the Trump administration. We need to see some significant steps taken before I go, you know what, this current status quo is starting to shift their narrative on crypto and Bitcoin.
Yeah, Marty Party, he agreeing here. Solana, no longer defined as a security by the SEC. They seek to no longer approve tokens such as Solana are securities here. Cardano, Solana, Matic, Sand, Filecoin, and Mana are no longer securities. I will say this. These are the main three you see everybody mentioning: Cardano, Solana, and Polygon. I think there's a lot of people excited about those three tokens for sure. Charles Hoskinson, he couldn't miss an opportunity to troll. SEC Gov has retracted its request here. And here he is playing the GIF. Y'all know what this is from? I know his Pedro Pascal, and he's like riding in the car with somebody. Can't remember what movie it's from, though, folks. Maybe someone in the chat.
It's a new one with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it is Nicolas Cage. Yeah. What is it called?
I forgot. I haven't even watched it yet. I still need to watch it, to be honest.
Is it a Game of Thrones deleted scene? That's like he's in a chariot right there, not a car. All right, so is Robinhood. Here's big news. I asked this question, and let me ask you two. Is Robinhood, I don't think they're going to add all 68, of course, but is Robinhood going to add Cardano and Solana trading soon? If so, does that move those coins at all, or are they just too big a market cap for it to have an effect?
I think the effect's over. Yeah. If it happens right now, it's not, I don't think it's going to affect too much. We need to be pushing with new volume, new liquidity, and, new exposure in these markets. So right now, guys, again, until we break out 70,000, I don't think any altcoins with any listing or any major news, minus like if there is some crazy partnership with some short-term fluctuation, I think everything's gonna be following Bitcoin right now.
All right, the from Nicolas Cage, crushing talent, the clash, blah life. Okay, all right, Drew.
Yeah,
I mean, what are your thoughts here? Robinhood. I mean, if they added, is there any kind of Cardano or Solana pump that happens from that?
Yeah, honestly, I do think we're underselling the effect that Robinhood has. And that's just from me watching what Robinhood did with Doge last cycle. The price action gets all the gas station attendants excited. Everyone around you is starting to talk about it. They pull up their stupid little phone and they have their Robinhood app with all this crypto on it. So actually, I'm going to go counter to that and say yes, it will have a.
I will actually go in the middle. So I don't think no. I don't think yes. I think it's kind of a yes with an asterisk. I think it's a short-term leverage trade pump. I think if you can find the news within 3 minutes, maybe 6 to 15, maybe. But I think if you get the news within 3 minutes, you could probably open along, have it closed within an hour or two. You're going to do fantastic. But I don't know about any kind of long-term price appreciation, because then the open interest hunters and the stop loss hunters will then push that price down. All right, Bitcoin. Let's talk about some of the fear that we're seeing, because not only are we having this great news for altcoins, we're actually having terrible news for Bitcoin. If you're wondering, well, why the heck we got great news, but Bitcoin's dumping or ETH is kind of flat. Well, what the heck's going on? Well, there was fear because the government moved $2 billion of Silk Road tokens. The government is the owner of about $12 billion worth of Bitcoin, according to Arkham Intelligence. I was looking at it yesterday as it was happening. So they moved about $2 billion worth of seized Bitcoin on Monday, tanking already retreating prices and sparking concerns of selling the assets just 2 days after Donald Trump's promise to begin stacking Bitcoin. There's a lot of people who thought, because Donald Trump on Saturday said, we need to diamond hand our 210,000 Bitcoin, actually 213, but we have 1% of Bitcoin. We need to diamond hand it. 2 days later, the U.S. government then moves billions of dollars of Bitcoin on chain. A lot of people are saying, this is Kamala Harris saying, well, if they like it, we got to sell it. Well, what's your take on that?
It's definitely not Harris that's doing this right now.
They keep trying to blame him, and you're going to bat for Harris here.
Well, yeah, because Harris has no understanding of crypto whatsoever.
Do you think the other people are weird now?
I think if anything, what's shifting right now is the current party. Whoever moved this, there's conversations around them understanding. Maybe they don't. Maybe they seriously don't. But it could be the DOJ moving. What is it? United States Marshals, U.S. Marshals. They
Yes.
are working with custodians
Yes.
through Coinbase. So it's like this could be moving into a new custodial wallet. There's already been confirmation that this is a new custodian wallet. But what it goes to show is that there is multiple branches of the government that have no idea who should be in control or who should be managing this crypto. Because one of the biggest concerns is, even if we do attempt to establish this as a strategic reserve, is who's going to be in charge of those multi-sig signatures. So who's going to be, is it the DOJ? Is it the U.S. Marshals? Is there going to be 3 codes separated across 3 different people? Is the president going to have one of these? Like, who's going to be managing, what could potentially be almost $100 billion
So you're saying
over the course of
if we
5
had a
years?
multi-sig, we should give one of them to Joe Biden.
Not necessarily, but that it's a conversation you have to have. Is who is in
How
charge
do you feel
of
about
having
that?
this?
How do you feel about that? Should the president have one of the 4 parts of the secret phrase there? Thank you, JP, for throwing the title out there. Well, it's an interesting point. I have the craziest, boldest conspiracy, but Drew, I want to hear your conspiracy first before I share mine. I don't think mine's true, but mine's the most fearful, I would say. What do you got?
First of all, congratulations to Kamala Harris for winning the 2024 presidential election already through Google and Meta and Dominion. And secondly,
Don't say the last word. We'll get
I just had to. We have some interesting thoughts because we're talking about it's not as cataclysmic as the nuclear codes, but I mean, being able to have the power to dump 200,000 Bitcoin on the market, that's a big, big power. It's like the crystal in the hand where you crush it and everything just goes to hell, because they can either use it for good and backing our US dollar and try to start digging us out of a national debt that just crossed 35 trillion, or they can dump it on the market and put everyone's heads down lower and just implement total control. So
I have the scariest scenario here, and I don't think this is going to actually happen, but the scariest scenario would be they move the wallet, they move the Bitcoin to a different wallet. Just, let's see, what do we have? About 5 months before we get a new president sworn in. So you move it to a new wallet, and then when a new president is sworn in, maybe that Bitcoin is stolen from that wallet, and then you can claim the new guy. The new guy lost $2 billion. I bet he kept it for himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, but you're going to be looking at the U.S. Treasury has one of the multi-sig codes. They have to. They just have
it would
to,
be
they have to
a deep, well orchestrated conspiracy. A bunch of different state actors.
I will say that though. That's that's just not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. That's just the scariest scenario I could think
Abe's
of.
point in chat here, he's like, he's making fun of Trump. He's like, Trump said that he wants Bitcoin made in America. And it's like, dude, that's very, very bullish, because what that means is Trump knows nothing about crypto. He doesn't pretend to. When I was there watching his speech, I'm sitting there speaking with Senator Blackburn. I'm sitting with Senator Lummis. Like, I've had actual physical conversations with these individuals. It's not about Trump. It's about the committee that he's putting together to strive for better regulation and legislation and development and adoption around Bitcoin. What are they going to do with it? So having more Bitcoin built in America actually directly means, and this is not indirect, is that we are going to produce so much energy. The committee that is being developed right now, all the Bitcoin miners at this conference, they all understand that means Bitcoin modular containers are going to be set up with these overproduction energy providers. And that is going to bring a lot of value and growth and mitigate emissions and carbon emissions all at the same time, which essentially is creating something known as true ESG. It's very beneficial to the economy. It's very beneficial to the United States. At the same time, you want the United States to have the majority of the supply. Now, look, we're Bitcoiners. Most of us have fundamental libertarian beliefs. But the reality of the situation is this. We have created a free market and a free system that is free code. Bitcoin is freedom in this sense. So anybody with more money can come in and control that network and capitalize off of it. We do not want that to be China. We do not want that to be Russia. God forbid, we do not want that to be in North Korea, right? So having the control and the majority of that supply, which the United States would, there's strategic plans to have over 1 million Bitcoin in, of course, those strategic reserves, and being the largest energy producer in the world is very beneficial to the overall ecosystem. And what we have to fight for, me and you, Abe, as well as DZs, everybody in this chat, this is why I'm getting political, because you have to fight for policies and regulation that matter, that are going to be supportive to Bitcoin's ecosystem and its underlying ethos, or else it's going to get destroyed and capitalized off of in ways that we do not want to see.
Yeah, Crypto Bad Fox, it sounds like they moved to Coinbase as part of their custody plan. That does seem to be the situation here, but there's a lot of fear in the market as the $2 billion, 48 hours after Trump's remarks. And there's just a lot of movement and a lot of fear in the markets, and the markets hate uncertainty. Chemistry Bro saying Fox would have dug in harder. Is my understanding that Dominion successfully blocked an auditing of their code, and you can't win if you can't audit the code. Am I right?
That's
Am I
weird.
right?
Weird how that works.
weird how that works. It was weird how they were able to block the auditing of the code. But
Everything's
anyways,
so weird these days.
any Autism Capital here, U.S. government. If we sell our
keeps the leading-
200,000 Bitcoin,
Guys, let the messages go. I appreciate you, mods, but guys, let everybody have their own free thoughts.
yeah,
Unless
free-
it's
free
saying
speech.
something like against guidelines, like let them run with it.
All right, government, if we sell our 200,000 Bitcoin before Trump's getting in office, then he has no Bitcoin to hold in a strategic reserve. That seems to be the rumor here. I do not think the U.S. government is going to pull a Germany. Germany, of course, sold 50,000 Bitcoin in one fell swoop. Do not think the U.S. government will sell 200,000 in one fell swoop. But I do have a video coming out tonight. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm doing a lot of math here. We know what it looks like when nation states sell Bitcoin. We know what it looks like when Germany sold 50,000 Bitcoin. We don't know what it looks like when nation states buy Bitcoin. So what if we did Cynthia Lummis's plan of accruing 5% of all the Bitcoin in the world? Wouldn't other countries maybe follow suit? Maybe 20% gets taken off the supply. What would happen to Bitcoin's price? That is the video. We're releasing at 7 p.m. tonight, so make sure you have on notifications. Going to be a banger. Putting on the accountant hat again. I don't do it often because my head gets dizzy, my ear starts bleeding, and then I woke up, on the floor. Yeah. But I'm putting a lot of work into the math there.
I appreciate it, C90. That was my bad. I guess they might have just deleted the comments. I'm just checking. I'm not blaming you. Don't worry.
Yeah, because we want to get chafed by you guys until we are feeling raw.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
There you go, folks. All right, Bitcoin held by governments now near $33 billion mark. Josh, what's our debt?
$35 trillion. But our debt will be it will be $100 trillion.
So not even 1%, 0.1%, 1/1000th of our debt.
Yes.
And so still early days when it comes to Bitcoin. When you start thinking about Bitcoin being added to balance sheets, imagine if it was added to the balance sheet. Maybe they feel a little bit better about printing more money. Might actually pump up the price of Bitcoin there. Plus less Bitcoin for sale. Justin, this is about as bullish as you can get. We're waiting for this activity. He is the reason we pumped in February and March. A lot of people don't like to, mention him because he's not buying anymore, but he was a lot of buying pressure on the markets. His name is Mr. 100. They call him Mr. 100 because he would buy 100 Bitcoin at a time. Well, he just dumped Bitcoin. He dumped 2020. You did not sell your Bitcoin. So also one of the reasons we're seeing the markets tank. A lot of people just see him and just short. Looks
like the
Bitcoin.
funds weren't dumped. They are still within Upbit's custody.
Oh, doesn't make sense. Okay, Upbit. Oh, well, if you
put it in, sold it to Upbit.
Yeah, I mean, you put it on exchange. Some people say you put it onto an exchange to then sell. Maybe not. But I know if I'm putting a altcoin from my MetaMask onto Coinbase, it's not because I'd rather Coinbase hold my asset than me self-custody because I'm going to sell it at some point.
Well, it's
but we don't know.
There's multiple comments that are saying, did he sell or did he transfer his wallet? I don't know. I'm going to find this. I'll look into this for you.
If it's Upbit, I'm thinking sell, though. I will say that.
Yeah. No,
all right. Over 35,000 Bitcoin added to exchange balances in 2 weeks. Also, some of the reason we're seeing some dumping pressure. A lot of people looking like maybe getting ready to sell some Bitcoin. We have Ollie charts here, Ollie Martinez. Bitcoin shows bullish divergence against the RSI in the lower timeframes, while the TD sequential presents a buy signal. If 65K level holds, could rebound to 67 or 6,800. Okay, so this is the 30-minute chart. We're seeing a little RSI. I could bust out some RSI. So live look here. I got to go larger so I could type in indicators. You type in relative or even RSI, you'll see relative strength index. We're going to go ahead and put that on here. Relative strength index, have that. Go back to where you can see it. Hit X. I made 2 because I'm on crack. We're going to hit the trash button right there. We're going to hide. This is all live movement, so we appreciate you having a little patience. Are we seeing RSI on the smaller time frames here? Let's go ahead and stretch this axis. Yeah, we are, folks. We are. This is a bullish signal that we're seeing in the markets on a small time frame. I am not saying, oh, folks, there's a trade. There's such a trade here because this is 30-minute candles. But this is a very typically bullish signal. And if I was a degen, I would just go ahead and open a long right here with a very tight stop loss, closely monitored. This isn't a set it and forget it. We got bullish divergence on the weekly. 30-minute candles there, though. So, hey, if you are trading, there is definitely a trade to be had, folks. All right, long-term holders, smart money, they're on a buying spree. They're adding 110,000 Bitcoin to their portfolios. And so it is the diamond hands that are buying more. Paper hands, they're weak. The paper hands are getting shaken out, folks. Let's keep scrolling here. All right, we have that. We have the RSI. Open interest at all-time highs, but funding is positive neutral, so we don't have too much news from that. The clock has ticked on the post-halving surge 100 days after the last halving. We typically get a pump 100 days after the last halving. Will this halving be different, Josh? Do you think we're going to be pumping in the next week or so?
It all comes down to tomorrow's FOMC meeting, which of course I'll be live with. I mean, you're looking at Google.
You're going live with that?
Hopefully, it depends on the time, but I should be able to go live with that. Usually it's around 2:30, so I might be a little bit early tomorrow's stream on Wednesday, guys. However, yeah, everything is depending on, of course, the Magnificent Seven. This is why, again, I mean, I can go into politics, but I could talk about why this economy is massively inflated right now. So we need to see easy money come in, easy monetary policy come in that will support a lot of the Russell 2000, which just coincides, guys, of course, with your smaller companies. And if you want your altcoins to move, we need easier money in these markets. So tomorrow, the FOMC meeting, the Jerome Powell, the Fed Chair Powell, is going to be announcing the rate hike and the decisions and give better projections, of course, on the future of these markets. Now, no one's, I don't believe, expecting a rate cut this month. Let me go to Fed Watch.
Yeah, no, it was, I want to say under 10% on poly markets. It was like 3% or 7%. And that's really people just saying, hey, 15x on my payday. I got $10 on it.
It's 95% of the market saying nothing. However, they are going to be listening to his words and his speech and his tone, because when we look into, of course, September, look how much it shifted. A lot of people were looking at, no rate cut in September for a good amount of time. We got confirmation in early July here this month that we are 100% essentially going to get a rate cut in September here. It's 87% of the market's betting on a 25 basis point rate cut. And of course, 11% of the market is looking at, and pretty much 12% of the market is looking at anywhere from 50 to 75 basis points. So it really comes down to the decisions and what he says in the markets tomorrow, if that is going to see more upside or downside in these market conditions.
All right, we got breaking news, everybody. I saw it, and it looks like it is confirmed here. Bitcoin Archive here coming from Reuters as well. Russia to legalize Bitcoin and crypto as foreign currency for international payments, according to Bloomberg. This is great news and bad news. It is bad news for the U.S. dollar, but it is great news for your crypto portfolio, everybody. So it's just making it a lot easier for people to settle trade without using the U.S. dollar, without I want you to, tell me all your transactions so I can then freeze your bank accounts when I want. So good news for Bitcoin. So yeah, breaking news is going to be a lot of folks. I told you in 2021, I was told by a pretty credible source, Russian intelligence services have been accruing Bitcoin for years. I still think that continues. I have no reason to believe that it's not. All right, Bitcoin, if it overtakes these assets, we're fighting with silver. When we were closer to 75K, I think silver was closer to $26. It is right now $28.24. Silver is above Bitcoin, but they do flip-flop a little bit. If Bitcoin hits silver's market cap, we have an $80,000 Bitcoin. But we got new numbers for gold, and this is where it gets really bullish. If gold and Bitcoin were to have the same market cap and gold were to remain stagnant here, we're looking at an $800,000 Bitcoin, and I do think Bitcoin will overtake gold. If I had to give a year, 2032, I don't know. Do you have a year for when you think Bitcoin might surpass gold?
28 if if this cabinet's elected. 32 if
that would be fire.
Yes. Yeah.
Drew, do you have a year?
Josh stole my answer. 2028. I think we can hit it. So
I don't think people I'm not looking at this from left or right policy. I'm just looking at it from an economic policy. And people on the left tend to want to tax the rich. And if you just do historical data points and just read up on it, guys, we're at the point in our markets where we're not going to stop printing. We can't stop printing money. This isn't a left or a right issue. It's a bipartisan issue, and it's been since 1970. Our debt is going to continue to skyrocket. Why? Our interest debts alone, guys, we're paying roughly we're on track to pay $1 to $1.5 trillion just in that alone. And if you were even to wrap up all the billionaires in the United States and put them into a giant, pit and be like, we're going to take 30% more off your guys' shoulders and take 30% more off your guys' taxes, that's not even enough to pay for that debt alone. So this isn't a debt issue, it's a spending issue. And if we don't get that under control, we're going to continuously spend more and more money. So the only way out of this is to grow. It's not to deflate the economy. It's to grow it in the right way. And I believe that way is 100% consuming or creating more and more energy than ever and setting up Bitcoin modulars and setting up a strategic reserve. It's going to hold our account more accountable. We're going to have more trust, more accountability, more transparency. And really, it comes down to both the left and the right putting together policies that stop allowing them to manipulate and artificially prop up these markets. You start that with, stopping stock trading from Nancy Pelosi and Tom Emmer and all these different politicians. There's a lot of steps we have to take, but it begins with taking Bitcoin serious and, of course, establishing a strategic reserve.
We're going to play a Tucker Carlson clip a little bit.
I got to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's say it is 2028 when we hit that 800K Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
At the rate that we are inflating the dollar, will it matter as much as we think it will? Will $800,000 really move?
No. It would be like when you're a child and you thought of a millionaire, you're like, oh man, they have a whole lot of money. Now you think of a millionaire, you're like, so they have a house. If they sell, they're homeless. But they'll have money in the bank and then they'll just diminish to nothing. So
that's my thought on it.
Yeah, but it'll gain in value as far as this. Remember what I was talking about? The actual highest value Bitcoin ever had was April in 2021. And remember, Drew, I was saying, when you look at that Bitcoin, how many couches it could buy, how many eggs it could buy, how many pounds of coffee it could buy. I think peak Bitcoin valuation was April 2021. I think we'll have more increases in valuation. I think we will exceed April 21 eventually, where we'll buy you the most amount of Rolexes, whatever you might be, or whatever it might be there. And JD Vance didn't have sex with the couch. It was actually modified text. But I believed it. I fell for it. I fell for the misinformation.
Let's talk about this for a second, because who's mad? Who even cares that he would do that? Let's say if he did do that.
Upholstery makers?
I'm saying like what political side is running these stories?
Whoopi Goldberg.
It's Whoopi Goldberg?
The View? I don't know.
So you could commit Sodom and Gomorrah, but you can't have sex with a couch.
100%.
Like choose your belief. Who cares?
Actually, you could have sex inside the Capitol
and take
pictures. You can cut
off your dick, but you can't fuck a couch? I'm sorry. Jeez, move on. It's annoying.
Speaking of which, have you seen the women's boxing? Anyways,
Excuse my language.
Hey, we got ETFs, folks. Bitcoin, ETFs, crypto. I'm trying to help the YouTube algorithm. Crypto, Bitcoin, crypto. We have US Bitcoin ETFs flows. We turned green. Now 44. All right, we had that red day, and then 44 million, 31 million. 51 million. And who saved the day, everybody? Because we had a lot of grayscale outflows. IBIT, aka BlackRock. BlackRock saved the day again. So Larry Fink, we hate you, but sometimes we love you when you pump our bags. All right. Tucker Carlson drops an F-bomb on the U.S. government. Now he's going to use your cuss word, Josh. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. Do we need to do anything for sound? Are we Gucci Drew?
No, it's not punching over. Redo it.
All right, just did that. Will this work? We, folks, we broke everything down for Nashville, and then we we got everything built again. So this is a coin toss.
Needs support, and it's not a crime. And I just wanted to put that on your radar. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Can I just respond to that really quickly? Privacy is the point. With no privacy, there's no freedom. It's a prerequisite for freedom.
Huge.
We torture people by putting them in boxes and staring at them all day and keeping the lights on. That's the worst punishment we mete out in the United States. Is solitary confinement monitored. No privacy, no freedom. You know where there is privacy and secrecy in great abundance? The federal government, which is classified over 1 billion documents describing what they're doing with our money in our name. This is our government. And yet they have every right to keep key decisions from us. They just allowed the presidential candidate to get shot, and we're not allowed to know how that happened or why. So to take a lecture from them about how I'm a criminal because I want privacy in my financial transactions or my phone calls or my text messages, really fuck you, actually.
And you don't get it?
I mean, I don't get it, but I demand it. I'm sorry to use profanity, but that makes me so mad. That's prima facie evidence of a crime. You haven't even declassified the Kennedy assassination files 61 years later, and you're lecturing me about wanting to have an encrypted text conversation. How dare you? You worked for me. You should be in prison.
Woo! That's a hot take right there. Free Ross. It's just a perfect ending right there. So censorship is the final step, and private, secure transactions between two parties is normal, is legal. There's actual reasons. Let's just say, I thrown out this example before. Let's just say KFC had all their purchases on the blockchain. You would be able, if they didn't have any privacy, you'd figure out their 11 herbs and spices. Let's just say you have a company, Josh, CEO, you got to pay different people. maybe some employees don't want every other employee to know how much they're getting paid. There's reasons to have secure transactions. There's reasons to have security and privacy. What if you wanted to buy some medication from a doctor and you're embarrassed about your ailment? You're supposed to just you say, oh, weird. That's weird. You got it from the adult diaper depot. I see you're making a payment. That person's going to be embarrassed. So there's actual real reasons for privacy, censorship. And without freedom of speech, the next step is freedom of thought. And they're going to take that away from you too. And so, yeah, really, really good take. I would largely agree with all that. This is interesting. Very liberal Americans are most likely to own Bitcoin, says a new study. I think this is mostly based off age. I think younger people.
I think it's based off Bitcoin's liberal.
Bitcoin's liberal.
It's
double click on that.
On what?
Bitcoin is liberal. What do you mean?
What do I mean by that? Its fundamental design was to deregulate the government. That is as libertarian as you get.
Oh, yeah. As far as liberty, yeah, there's nothing more pro-liberty than Bitcoin, I would say, except maybe Drew's mind. That's maybe more focused on liberty here. Let's see. We had Trump. Oh, I do want to give a big shout out to Constellation Network. We had a great time. We hung out with them. I actually partied with them a little bit on Friday. It was why I didn't get to make as much content as I wanted on Saturday. I may have lost my voice screaming back and forth with the dad guy. So really, really cool stuff. Check them out, constellationnetwork.io. I do think there's going to be a little bit of a D-pin pump, everybody. And, I think they can capture that. And on that note, I just want to give a big shout out to Iagon, was the largest gainer in 24 hours. That wasn't like a meme coin. Iagon is up at one point, like an hour ago, it was up 20% against ADA. And so they must be doing something over there. So yeah, D-Pen's still going to be pretty big. Ryan Selkis calls for a peaceful protest amid Google's search ban on Donald Trump. Google has a response. If you type in assassination attempt of Donald TR, you don't even, Trump doesn't come up. Google's response, Josh, was, well, we have auto filters on things related to political violence. What do you think of that response?
One more time. You broke down a lot there.
If you type in some things related to Trump and the recent attempt on his life, they don't autofill. They don't autocorrect. They might not even take you anything real. Their response was, well, we're not censoring the subject. We have auto filters on political violence. And it just fell under that.
I mean, one, I'm not going to jump to conclusions. I think they need to, this incite just more as political. It just incites more political violence in general right now because I think both parties are so politically extreme. There's a lot of, this causes just the wrong emotional traction. And what I mean by that is, right now, if anything happens, for example, with Meta, or what was it today? Someone's account got removed. It was Kamala's HQ or some white males for Kamala on Twitter. Their account got removed. It turned out it was an impersonation account. And even though it was an impersonation account, a lot of leftists were saying, Elon Musk is against free speech. He's censoring his platform. He's, committing election fraud. Like they immediately jumped on us, garnered millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views. And all they had to do was take 2 seconds to realize, oh, no, they actually took down a fraudulent account that would have scammed, a ton of Democratic donors. And it goes for, Google as well. I think what's happening with them is they're trying their best to suppress the political violence and, meet ethical or moral codes. And I wouldn't know this unless there was a deep investigation into this. But what I do know is that a lot of rights-leaning individuals are taking that information and polarizing it and using it as propaganda to, suppress the left. And so this is just where we're at in these markets. And it's why I think it's more important than ever for people to, just do research, to use critical thinking, methods, and just start really diving deep into what it means this elections this year, because it's more important than ever.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to look up the President Donald, and President Donald Duck will come up, but it's number 2.
Oh, good.
President Donald Duck. So when you type in President Donald, you get a nice Donald
and Donald
Duck.
Reagan. That's a good
yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? Kind of funny there. But in a totally unrelated post here, everybody, we have companies that donated the most to each candidate. Number 1 for Harris is Google.
Oh, weird.
Oh, wait. That's weird. Never mind. Oh, well, maybe
Stop
it is. All right. Polymarket tops $1 billion in betting volume amid U.S. election hype. And guess what? Closed to U.S. users. Big shout out to, follow all local rules and regulations, but big shout out to VPNs out there. I think we have a VPN Unlimited link down below. Drew, do you know? Josh, do you know?
There should be a VPN for NordVPN down below.
I use one. I use one. I follow all local laws, but I use one.
Well, yeah, privacy is the most important feature in your life. So just make sure you guys are staying secure. If you guys, are connecting to Wi-Fi at Starbucks or on an airplane or, just anywhere, you're at risk of massive security. And I know for sure, put +1 in the chat because I know you guys are going to agree with us. I know 90% of you probably have your crypto come all on your phone. You haven't removed it, put it in self-custody, or even put it on a computer or somewhere else. It is attached to your phone. So make sure you guys do not log into public Wi-Fi unless you're, of course, on a VPN. You're just at serious.
All right. The Secret Service said Donald Duck. Oh my God. That was actually good.
Deep cut.
That's good. That's good. All right. Yeah, you got me with that one. All right. Super PACs. We have the list of the super PACs with the most amount of money. And guess what? Crypto just took the #1 spot, eking by Make America Great Again Incorporated and Senate Majority PAC. And so we got a right and a left-leaning central. That is not as Make America Great Again view. Centrist. I would call bull crap on that one. But yeah, so we have a left-leaning and a right-leaning super PACs leading #1 and #2. But you got Fair Shake PAC, #1 with $202 million. Crypto is a real industry right now. And we're bribing politicians like the big kids. And so now maybe we'll get to sit at the big kids table next year. Maybe. We'll see. Venezuelan president accuses Elon Musk and new conspiracy claims. Of course, Maduro is seemingly unpopular from exit polls. I don't know what to believe. There's a lot of fake videos out there. There's like stuff from 2017. There's things that are 2021. Everyone's trying to say it's like from today. There's boxes. There's people stealing air conditioners and it's a ballot box. And you're like, no, that's an air conditioner. So it's a lot of stuff that we don't know is real and what's fake. But we do know he had a very, very interesting comment on Elon Musk, claiming that he was behind the actions undermining the Venezuelan government. I want to see the thing where he talked about the rockets here. Where is it? Earlier, he described him as a dictator, slammed his government's management. One of the posts, the people of Venezuela have had enough of this clown. He did throw out this crazy rumor he was going to fly his rockets to Venezuela with his armies and take over.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I have that on a low probability. Rockets,
I would say
SpaceX rockets flying to Venezuela.
Elon responded
with robots.
To him with
oh my God, robots would come out of the rocket ships.
Maybe
robot army. It's basically episode 1.
I don't think it'd be robots. I think they would just be clones of Elon Musk.
Wait, no, it'd be one of his 87,000 children. It would just be his children coming. Okay, that would be what it is. All right, so yeah, we're gonna watch that one closely. It'd be interesting to see how that election goes. Drew, did you see the line graph where it went?
Hey, there's nothing to see here. Okay, and congratulations to Maduro on winning yet another election.
Yeah. Good job. FTX executive Ryan Salome asked for a prison sentencing delay. Why? A dog attack, everybody. And so he's requesting prison surrender date for criminal charges because he pushed back after being mauled by a dog here. Bullish. He had a dog bite injury to his face after being mauled by a German Shepherd while visiting a friend's house about a month ago and was evaluated by a doctor 4 days later there. Got bit in the face by a dog. My fault, not the dog's. And all I can think of is hope this surgeon isn't a Democrat who knows I'm a. Why did he go partisan with that? I didn't know he was going to go partisan with that one. Got bit in the face. All right. So the former CEO was formally sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. Guys, he can't do the time because the dog did the crime. I don't know if that's an excuse to not do 7 years. Bit by a dog. If that's the case,
he needs to do 7 years. He illegally defrauded billions and billions and billions of dollars in investors.
And Bankman-Fried currently serving his quarter-century stint, 25 years, folks. There's his tweet right there. Brandon, hopefully he is an FTX customer. All right, that's just cold. We all know dogs can't have accounts, folks, unless it's on Binance. Hey, all right. Bitfinex hacker Razzlecon was job hunting at Bitcoin 2024. I just want to show the picture of this. This is the big hacker. I think it was with the Bitfinex hack. Yeah, stole 120,000 Bitcoin. Some say she's a Fed. Some say she was at Bitcoin Nashville asking people I'm trying to join teams. I'm an advisor. So some are saying she's a Fed. She's posing as an insider trying to get in.
That's crazy.
Jason Lopp called her a known social engineer. That's true because I was related to the Bitfinex hack, who is likely to be working for the state, and pinned a warning to future organizers against granting her entrance. Speaking of getting denied at Bitcoin Nashville, there, you know what? Well, we won't talk about that. Happy birthday, Ethereum. Just turned 9 years today. No Drake comments, please. All right, moving on. We got Polkadot. Oh, there's might be a little opportunity, everybody. Polkadot likely to crash 13%. I gotta pull it up. I didn't have the trading pair here. I want to say it's .tether. It is .tether. So I did some this is some TA we did. Let me go to the daily here. So all right, let's go to the dot story, then we'll look at this. Dot looks like it might crash 13% despite a big upgrade. So basically Dot got a big upgrade. If you know anything about crypto, when you do a big upgrade in crypto, your crypto actually crashes, even if it's a good upgrade. I think the one, I guess the exception that makes the rule was the ETH merge 2021, where there's a hard fork. A lot of people bet on that hard fork failing. They said it's like trying to change a plane engine while it's in the air. A lot of people bet, oh, it's going to crash, it's going to fail, it's going to look like Solana, the network's going to go down. The network actually did exceptional, and then ETH started pumping. But typically, you get an upgrade, your crypto crashes. It's like maybe it's front ran, maybe it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, they just got a big upgrade here, but there's some potential opportunity here. Is showing a downward trend, value consistently below the 50 and the 200-day EMAs. It's in a consolidation zone, which has lasted about 1.5 months. A break below the $5 support level give us a further downside moving to 491. To me, this is a scam, folks. I don't think it's going to go that low. I pulled up this Fibonacci extension here. This is this current cycle. I think we're going to test the bottom of this range, and then I think that's when we would get a bounce, folks. So I would say DOT looking like it's prime for a pump. Once we get closer to this $5.34 range, $5.35 range, they're calling for 490. I think it's largely based on that wick right there. You can wait for the wick. You could try to get the entrance at the wick. I think it's going to be better to play the Fibonacci extensions here. You can see Polkadot actually strongly respecting the Fibonacci. You see it perfectly hit right there, perfectly tapping off the bottom there. And so that'd be my level for DOT. Any thoughts on DOT? What's your DOT thought? Is it hot?
DOT thoughts. I mean, they're just constantly building. They're another Cardano. They're a blue chip project. They helped develop Ethereum. You can see that on that birthday post Vitalik Buterin put. Gavin Wood is in there. And they got a lot of developments that they're going on right now.
That's why Johnny set it up like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, Johnny,
exactly.
I let you down, yeah. Johnny. Yeah, Gavin Woods is the founder of DOT. He was actually a co-founder of Ethereum.
So it's not one of those products I expect to do, massive pumps or gains in the cycle, but it's one of those products that I do and would like to see massive development on. So just like Cardano, these are blue chip projects. Even the XRPL, right? It's like these are products that have been around for a very, very long time. And what I'd really like to see built on top of these is going to be an establishment and engagement with their community and true DeFi. So we'll see, what ends up coming out of it. But Polkadot has been on a great run, and they have been doing huge grant programs. So we'll see what they build this cycle.
We'll see what they build. All right, ETF inflows for Ethereum. You want the data. They don't tell you the data. They keep telling volumes high, volumes high. And you're like, well, everything's crashing. So actually, is it inflows? Is it outflows?
Houdini Swap is someone that we're actually partnered with. They integrated Duke. That is built on Polkadot. So there is new swap features in development that is really, really beneficial, guys. You could be on Solana or Ethereum. Look at this. You can literally sell any chain for anything. So Ethereum to XRP, Solana to XRP, BNB to Ethereum, whatever you want to do.
They're using the Polkadot SDK.
All available.
Substack or whatever.
Yes, on top of course, Polkadot. And this has over like 500 million, almost $600 million in volume now. So there's growth there. There's growth there, baby. And shout out to Houdini Swap for, of course, partnering with Duke.
George Martinez, are you bullish on that? Like I said, that entry, that is a very bullish entry point, folks. I would maybe even have to trade that one with leverage. All right, ETF, we saw crazy inflows, right? 1.18 billion. But we also had bigger outflows. We are actually net red. We lost 338 million. Why? Grayscale. Grayscale was just dumping like a maniac. If we pull it up, look at the number. Sure. I mean, we're doing pretty good. The mini trust, the iShares, which is BlackRock. Hey, man, BlackRock, you're doing a good job. But then look at the outflows of 1,500 from Grayscale. They still have a lot to go, folks. 7,000 assets under management. So there's still some room to go to the downside. Wall Street loves Ethereum ETFs. It's just not sure how to sell them just yet. I really think that they're wanting for staking rewards to be part of the package. I think once staking rewards, and I do think it will get approved. Why? Because it will make BlackRock more money. I think once the ETH ETFs have the staking rewards, then it's an ETF with a dividend. And Wall Street is going to wrap their head around that in a warm, cozy embrace. It's going to give a little kiss, and they're going to buy the hell out of these ETH ETFs. And so that is going to be the big catalyst shift, everybody. This is what I'm talking about. You keep seeing all these bullish things like great start with all these inflows. Then they, you exclude that legacy fund there. So just be careful with the surface level. Yeah, it's good, right? It's doing good, right? Volume's high, right? No, Grayscale is dumping the hell out of this stuff. The net outflow is yet to subside, but is likely that it will happen this week. When it does, it's only up from there. So I agree. I think we need to get into the positive inflows. That's when we start seeing a positive, real good price action. But Bitcoin needed about a month and a half of positive inflows before it got that mid-March peak. Because it was all inflows through February, inflows through March, and then it hit its peak. And so even if we turn inflows, the ETH top, the local top for ETH, still might be a month and a half later once we turn the inflows bullish. So we get inflows, ETH starts pumping, people saying, all right, this is a ceiling, it's going to turn down. That's might when maybe it starts flirting with all-time highs, everybody. Let's see here. What else? We got 21 shares integrating Chainlink's proof of reserve system for spot Ethereum ETFs. So Chainlink, potential winner for the ETH ETFs here. It will be maybe even a bigger winner. I'm not sure how many oracles are needed for the staking rewards when you're trying to run stuff, but maybe there's something there, folks. So big news for Chainlink. Avalanche looking extremely bullish after breaking out of the falling wedge pattern. Successful breakout could be a 2x price increase. Keep an eye out. So does look like it finally broke out, but I would say let's close not one daily candle. I think you need 2-3 daily candles before I would say, all right, I'm bullish on this. If you end up missing out on that 5% pump, waiting on that second or third daily candle, I think you're going to be better off in the long run, folks. So Avalanche, I'm long-term bullish on it. It does have a lot of just sells. It has a lot of dump token unlocks. Just a steady token unlock. Despite that, are you still bullish?
I mean, I'm really bullish on any top project. I think they're going to do pretty well, especially if Bitcoin is established again as a strategic reserve. Right? You guys have months to still front run this U.S. government. This is something no one could have predicted 2 years ago. So right now, yes, it's hard to accumulate these crypto assets at these lower price points. Are they going to go to all-time highs? That's not my conversation I'm having with you. Do I believe they're going to be at a higher price than they are today in the future, especially if an established strategic reserve is created? 100%.
All right, and we got T-Swift fighting for crypto. Did you have that on your bingo card?
No.
Technically, kind of, not really. All right, artists sue the SEC over whether NFTs are securities, and they use Taylor Swift tickets as an example. I think this is actually a fantastic attack vector against the U.S. government for artists here, for NFTs in general. And so we had a law professor and a songwriter filed a complaint against the SEC just yesterday, and they may differ from Taylor Swift in many ways, but in terms of the complaint, are exactly the same position, the lawyer said, representing the two here. And so they filed this against the SEC and its 5 commissioners in the U.S. District Court of Eastern District of Louisiana. Lawyers are accused the SEC of waging a campaign to assert jurisdiction over the sales of digital art, citing 2 cases of the agency honing in on NFTs. Both have NFT projects in the work, are seeking declaratory judgment from the judge. Their approach threatens the livelihoods of artists and creators that are simply experimenting with the novel, fast-growing technology or have chosen it as their preferred medium. SEC, they have declined to comment on the complaint here. Ooh. So I didn't have Taylor Swift tickets fighting for NFTs and crypto in my 2024. But you know what? Am I a Swiftie now?
That's your decision.
That's my... All right, folks.
Don't put that on me.
Let us know. If you're not a Swiftie, hit that like button. If you are, let us know down in the comment section down below. That is all we got for today. Unless, Josh, you have any parting words here?
That's it, guys. We'll see you at 4 p.m. Make sure, of course, guys, if you haven't already, check out Arculus. The code DC10 is in the description below, guys. If you do not have self-custody, make sure you do so, because right now, as we accumulate more crypto than ever, for this upcoming bull run, you need to be more protected than ever, guys. We'll see you later tonight.
See you at the top.